Well, knitting is known as one of the world's most popular pastimes, and it really has made a comeback. It's become more fashionable and very fun. Women love getting together to knit and to chat and to learn from each other, but it's not just for the ladies. Bruce Weinstein loves it so much, he's written the book Knits Men Want, which has the 10 rules every woman should know before knitting for a man. And we are so glad to have you back, Bruce. Welcome back.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. I mean, this really has made a comeback. Knitting is huge again.
It is. It's really big, and it's big with men, it's big with women. But here's the thing. Women sit and they've knit for men for years and years and years. It's always knit for men. But they always have a problem, and I've heard this forever. I knit things and they won't wear them. Yeah. So,
and they don't appreciate it either sometimes.
They don't. So, and the worst story, the worst story I heard, I teach knitting, and in the store where I teach, a woman told me that the first sweater she knitted her husband is cashmere. He gave it to Goodwill.
Cashmere sweater.
Okay. So that made me think, okay, we got to figure out what it is that's making these men do it. Why don't men want to wear the knits that women make for them? And what can we do to help them?
So hence the Knits Men Want.
Knits Men Want. It's basically knitting instruction and relationship therapy all in one.
Oh my,
and it's
I'm
full
worried.
of very funny stories about women. So this woman whose husband gave the cashmere sweater away, there's one of the rules you have to know of the 10 rules is not all men are worthy of cashmere.
Say that one more time again,
Not all men are worthy of cashmere.
High five. Yes, as Mark over there in the kitchen laughs. So let's get into this. What are the tips for men? What should we know if we're knitting for our man?
First, let's remember that men and women are very different.
Who are you telling?
So, very different. But they're really different in terms of knitting, too. For instance, women love to dress up, right?
Yes.
And they love to wear bright colors and be noticed. Men don't want to be noticed. They'll dress up twice in their life. Once for their wedding and once for their funeral. Okay?
Yeah, that is very true.
So if you're going to knit for a man, you got to pick the right yarn to start with.
Okay.
So I have 2 piles of yarn here, and I want you to look at them and tell me which pile do you think will be better for a man and which will be better for a woman.
Well, I do love this one here, and I know that a lot of men love. But men wear pink too.
Men sometimes wear pink.
But if I were knitting something for my husband, which would take me a long time to knit, so I don't know that I would do that. I would have you help me. I would say that pile.
And here's why this pile is so right for a man. First of all, we have dark muted colors. We have one yarn here that is a tweed, but it's a tweed with a black and gray that's really lovely. And these yarns are all very soft because one of the rules in the book is men are babies.
They are
babies. And here, feel this one. This one is the one that kills me the most.
And these are skeins, right? Is that what they're referred to?
These are skeins. It's a skein of yarn. I'm actually using this one to knit Marcus' sweater right now.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So it's really soft because rule number 7, men are babies. They like things soft.
This is not coming from me, guys, okay? I'm not saying this. This is Bruce saying this, all right?
We are. As in, so here's the thing. You're buying yarn for a man. You buy some nice soft yarn. Take him to the store. If you're lucky, you'll get him to the store. And you can't just say, here, honey, feel this.
Right.
Because he's not going to wear the sweater on his hand.
So what do you say?
So first we'll put it on your face. Take a skein or 2 home. Rub it over his body. Make sure he's comfortable with it. If it makes him itchy, it's not going to work.
Okay, but how do you get them to relax long enough to fit them? Because in knitting, don't you have to like fit them and measure them and all that good stuff?
Okay, so it's very difficult to get men to try things on. That's rule number 8. Men hate fittings.
They do.
You're not going to get them to try it on. So you can measure them when they're asleep.
Okay.
Or you can actually take measurements from a sweater, an existing sweater.
Okay.
So you could lay a sweater out and measure the length of the sleeves. You know how long that has to be. So in the book, I tell you how to do that, how to measure. But one day you also play little games. So wait till they're going to bed, they're already taking their clothes off.
Yeah.
It might be a lot easier to get them to try something on. Tell them if they take their shirt off to try a sweater on, you'll take yours off.
I think a lot of guys are like, yeah, and I will wear anything you put me in now.
So there are ways, there are tricks, there are rules, and I've got all 10 of them that tell you how to do it.
In that book, I want to walk through the models. You've got 2 models. We have Jay and Peter. Let's see what you made. These are fashions. These are knits that you made.
These are knits that I designed for men. They're really basics, classics that I think go a little bit further. So first we have Jay. He's wearing a Henley, and a Henley is like a long-sleeve pullover with buttons down the front, and that's made in a combination of a llama and silk. So it's very lightweight, it's got a wonderful feel, it's warm but it breathes, and it's just a classic sweater, one of the classic designs in Knits Men Want that'll become the go-to sweater your guy will always want to wear.
Okay, let's look at Peter now. That's amazing. Great job. One of our star interns there.
Peter is in a classic hoodie pullover. And I made this one out of, it's 50% merino and 50% microfiber. And what the microfiber does means that if your guy doesn't take care of his stuff, throws it into a ball, shoves it under the bed, this will come out and look this good, even if he just shoves it under the mattress and doesn't take good care of it. So this is the classic hoodie sweatshirt that your guy will live in.
Bruce, I cannot believe that you make these from start to finish. You have the patterns inside
That's
your
right.
book, right?
And not only do we have the patterns in the book, but a lot of knitting books, you have a pattern that's for like 3 sizes.
Right.
And it has to be this yarn. What I've done in Knits Men Want is I've given you a range of sizes from a 40 to a 60. And every single pattern is written for multiple gauges. And what that means, if you don't like the yarn I've chosen, you can use any yarn you want, no matter how thick or thin it is, and the pattern tells you how to do it.
We've got a minute less. Can we get a quick shot of this? What is this here?
This is a baseball jersey that I created, very simple tone on tone. Rather than going for huge contrast, we just have a slight contrast. We have the angle going up, so it's the new version of a baseball jersey.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And really quickly, we're going to wrap on this one. This is absolutely exquisite. I love this one.
I did it with baby alpaca, and it's a mock turtleneck ski sweater. This is the warmest sweater in the book, and this is for the guy who doesn't want a lot of bulk, he doesn't want to wear a coat. Wears this, he doesn't need anything else.
Oh, he doesn't. That just says fashion and fabulous all over it.
Thank you.
Bruce, thank you so much for being here today. Again, everybody, the book is called Knits Men Want, and it is an awesome book. If you want more information, come to our website. We'll have it all there. Coming up next, we are in the kitchen with Mark Scarborough, making deviled eggs with ham when Connecticut Style returns. So stick around, everybody. I love this.